Youorns. Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for the Orns 10-minute take on Birmingham City 0, Watford 1. Cool hand Clevs. That's the story of this game. Watford getting their first win in the first attempt by the interim head coach of Watford Football Club. That's right, Tom Cleverley. Getting that very important win today against a Birmingham side who, look, started this game bottom four and fourth from bottom specifically, struggling, in some trouble. They made managerial changes this season. They have had some ups, they've had some downs, mostly downs in a season to forget, and they are fighting for their lives in the championship, which meant that Watford were going to be in for it today against a side like Birmingham, because Watford have struggled in recent weeks, at least, against teams in this area of the table, the bottom five, having lost, of course, most recently to Millwall, who were in that bottom five, among others, in what has been a very, very wild championship season. And Watford then had to be on guard for a very dangerous Birmingham side who had nothing to lose except the spot, of course, in the championship. Watford, of course, a week removed from removing their manager, Val Ishmael, from that occupation at the Vic, came into this game looking to get 3 points. It was critical that Watford start this chapter, the Tom Cleverley chapter, the Cool Hand Clevs chapter, however brief it might well be, with a win. And they absolutely got that today. Not the prettiest game to watch, not the best game at all by a long shot. That has been true of a lot of games Watford have been involved in this season. But the bottom line here is that Watford got it over the line and got it done. A moment of quality in a match that lacked it severely. Watford found an answer. And in this game, as I watched, I felt that Watford was searching to find the formula, searching to find what worked and what didn't on the pitch. And you could see that in various points of this game today. Daniel Batman returned to goal. Once again, it's been 3 on the spin for him. And this time, for the first time since last November, had the captain's armband. And that's principally because Wes Hurt is serving the first of a 2-match ban for yellow card accumulation. So he'll miss the game against Leeds as well on Good Friday in almost a fortnight from now. There's an international break between now and then. But the bottom line is that Watford found a way, and they searched for a way, searched for the right key to unlock this Birmingham side, who did give Watford fits at times. Daniel Batman had to make some excellent saves throughout this game, particularly in the second half. An incredible shot, really, that Miyoshi took that I don't know how I didn't go in, but Backman was excellent and equal to it. Saw it very late, made a very good save, and there were a few other saves in this game that I thought were outstanding from Daniel Backman, who's now, I think, with these saves today, certainly going to keep his place. Tom Cleverley, though, I think really didn't tweak all that much. Jamal Lewis didn't play the game because he was out with some kind of minor foot injury, and they kept him out for precautions. And Georgie, it was great to see him back because it looked like his injury last week or thereabouts was going to be a lot worse than it has turned out to be. And he started the game, has some energy in the game, has some vigor in the game. Espria has some energy and vigor. But the real story of this game was the team at the back, and particularly the likes of TDB, the likes of Matty Pollock, and Ryan Porteous in the starting lineup for the first time in a championship game in a fair bit of time. Maybe there's been there have been maybe 1 or 2 other games recently where Porteous has started, but Porteous really made his presence felt today, and I thought that he was the Orns man of the match. He was everywhere where he had to be. He didn't force the action. His usual all-out blood and thunder and guts posture was changed a bit here. He was much more studious and cautious, and I also thought that he showed a lot of wisdom about when to commit and when not to, and he was alert to all the danger, anticipated it very well. I thought that Porteous had an outstanding game. Now, having said that, there were other candidates for man of the match. In fact, the Watford FC social media channels also has put these 4 names in: TDB, Daniel Backman, Ryan Porteous, and Matty Pollock. All of them are outstanding, but I would give the edge to Porteous because of the way he marshaled himself and marshaled that back line, pardon me, was very, very good. A player who, look, hasn't played a whole lot of starts, but certainly distinguished himself very well in this game, and I think he set the tone. In the defense that was a bit more solid today, despite the fact that there were some giveaways in Watford's half. Ryan Andrews was among the culprits, as was Daniel Backman. I thought the defense did a good job of rescuing the team and bailing them out of big problems. Watford played well enough in those moments, but didn't play well throughout the game. And as I said, it was not a well played contest. But one thing you take from this is Watford's opportunity to win the game was there, and it was taken by Emmanuel Dennis in the 44th minute. And Watford had begun to work their way into a game that Birmingham had bossed at least a few minutes of in that first half. Watford ended up with much more of the possession when the half was finished. Emmanuel Dennis in the 44th minute, off of a Birmingham throw-in, no less, was able to take the ball from the Birmingham defender who allowed the ball to roll across him, which is a no-no in front of your 18-yard box. And you never know who is around you or behind you or in front of you when that's happening. And so while the Birmingham defender was waiting and allowing the ball to roll across him, Emmanuel Dennis, ever the opportunist, picked his pocket, took the ball, and then created a bit of space and chipped the ball into the back of the net, although it was a lot more stylish than that. It was actually a really good shot hard into the back of the net against the advancing Birmingham goalkeeper, John Ruddy. Very well executed, right on the stroke of halftime, gave Watford the lead, which they would not relinquish. Very important win. And Watford then in the second half played fairly decently. Had some chances, in fact, right after the Dennis goal in the first half, but could not capitalize. Emmanuel Dennis should have scored a second one less than a minute later. Dennis had to come off himself eventually with what was perhaps a suspected groin injury, the same groin that's been giving him trouble. We will see what the story is. And Emmanuel Dennis, though, has tweeted on X, so that means perhaps that he might be okay. I don't know what that means. You wouldn't be able to tell from a tweet. But let's hope that if Dennis is injured, that there's a speedy recovery for him in a match day squad that's already thin as it is. But I thought Watford today found character and grit. That's what this particular game was all about. Digging deep, finding the character to win a game in a place that was buzzing to win a game, that was desperate to win a game. But strangely enough, the atmosphere at St. Andrews was almost funereal. Obviously, a lot of the fans of the Blue Nose were concerned about their team when you start in the day fourth from bottom, tied for the same amount of points as Stoke City are, who are in the bottom three. Obviously, you're going to be a bit more nervous and a bit more nervy. And that's apparently, at least to me, what that crowd must have felt like. That's how it seemed watching it from here. But the Watford fans, of course, in full voice, in full song, and very much a party atmosphere at the end of this match as Watford get all 3 points. They hung in, made the right subs, did Clevs, brought on Sir Alter when it was appropriate to bring him on. Jake Livermore didn't play this game. It was a well substituted, well orchestrated plan. Again, it's one game for Clevs, but again, cool for Clevs. I thought Watford did a good job all around. And I do think that they were sensible about their possession. They moved the ball quickly in the first half and they moved the ball fairly well in the second half. It wasn't pedestrian. It wasn't a ball game and a plan that stuck. And it wasn't a ball that kept sticking to Watford. It was a ball that moved. It was a ball that found width. And Martins made some important contributions, even though he didn't light up the world. I thought he gave us extra width in that second half when he was brought on. And I also like the fact that even though Koné got sent off, Watford in their midfield was still fairly dynamic and lively. Were able to neutralize, for the most part, with some exceptions, Birmingham's progression. But I also liked, again, most of all, the stoutness of the defending. I thought TDB, again, defensively was brilliant. Matty Pollock and especially Ryan Porteous, all three of them were certainly the very, very echelons, the very top echelons of what they can do. And Daniel Batman, again, is beginning to get this comeback tour and certainly is probably not going to drop the ball now. And I thought that he wouldn't play another game this season, but how wrong I proved to be, because not only is he going to play again, he's already played, and he's certainly going to play the next game against Leeds, I would imagine, in a couple of weeks' time off the back of this performance where he, again, prevented at least two Birmingham goals. I mean, I thought that he was very good as well. So the bottom line is that Watford now, after 38 games, which means they've got 8 games to play, They'll go into this international break in 13th place, so that's mid-table. They've got 12 wins, 12 defeats, 12 wins, 12 draws, 14 defeats, and they have a +3 goal difference with a grand total of 48 points. That is where Watford are. They're mid-table. And look, the bottom line is that they're not going to crack the top 10. But what we really need to do now with these remaining 8 games is have fun out there, enjoy your football, express yourself. Of course, be disciplined when the game warrants it, and take chances. Get out there and take chances and build your confidence, because certainly today, I think that this win built Watford's confidence and built their own belief in themselves. Certainly, when you've got games coming up, the likes of Leeds and West Brom and Ipswich and Southampton, among others, this is the time to take the chances and believe, and certainly have a little bit of confidence about yourself. Well, today the lads found some confidence, found some grit, and that really was what got them over the line. The confidence, the grit, and the character. That's Watford Football Club on this day at Birmingham against this lot, the Blue Nose, at St Andrews. That's what I was trying to say a few moments ago. And Tom Cleverley, in his first game in charge as Watford FC interim head coach, easy for me to say, is 1-0 to start his brief reign. Now, if he starts to continue to get these wins, if he continues to get these wins, who knows? Maybe the owner will actually change his mind, although I doubt really that that's going to happen. But today, Watford made the most of it, got out of Dodge with 3 points. And at this stage, with 8 games left, that's about as good as it gets. This has been the YouOrns 10-minute take.